Sound the horn and shift the gears. Today's headline rolls in with a mighty small footprint, but a whole lot of curiosity. Do they still make smart cars? Well, folks, crank up the gramophone and grab your driving goggles. We're taking a zippy little spin through automotive history to find out what happened to those tiny titans of the city streets. Now let's wind the clock back to the 1990s. Flannel was in. Cell phones were bricks, and traffic in big cities was getting thicker than a malt at midnight. Enter a curious idea. What if a car was no longer than a park bench, sipped fuel like it was tea at high noon, and could fit into parking spaces that made sedans weep? In 1994, the folks at Swatch, the watch company, teamed up with Mercedes-Benz to create a new kind of vehicle, compact, stylish, and smart. They called it the Smart Car, a snappy little two-seater that looked like a golf cart in a tuxedo. And in 1998, it rolled onto the European scene like a jazz band at a garden party. Quirky, confident, and compact enough to fit sideways in a Paris alley. The model? The Smart 42, because it was made for two people and not an ounce more. It had a plastic body, rear-mounted engine, and could spin on a dime and give you 9 cents change. It arrived in the US in 2008, and people weren't sure what to make of it. Some said it looked like a roller skate. Others said it was the future. Gas mileage? Fantastic. Parking? A dream. Trunk space? Well, let's just say you weren't bringing home a piano. For a while, smart cars had their moment. Eco-conscious drivers loved them. City folks swore by them. Celebrities drove them like they were fashion accessories. You weren't just driving a car, you were making a statement. But oh, dear listener, the road ahead was bumpy. Sales started slowing. Folks realized that while smart cars were great for city driving, they weren't quite built for long trips, snowy roads, or high-speed highways. And with electric vehicles rolling in hot and heavy, smart started to fall behind the curve. In 2017, smart did a hard pivot. They stopped making gas-powered cars and went fully electric in the US. Bold move, but the competition was stiff. Tesla, Chevy Bolt, Nissan Leaf, all fighting for battery-powered bragging rights. By 2019, Mercedes-Benz said, "That's all, folks," and pulled the plug on smart car sales in North America. No more new smart Fortwos for the land of the free and the home of the highways. But hold the brakes. That's not the end of the road. You see, over in Europe and China, smart cars are still alive and beeping. In fact, in 2019, Mercedes-Benz teamed up with Chinese auto giant Geely, the same folks behind Volvo, to reboot the smart brand for the electric age. And in 2023, they unveiled the Smart Number 1, that's #1 if you're feeling trendy. A snazzy little electric crossover SUV with sleek lines, touch screens, and way more space than the old Fortwo ever dreamed of. So, do they still make smart cars? Yes indeed, but not in the US. The Smart brand has gone fully electric and fully global, shifting gears from city runabout to futuristic crossover. You won't find them at American dealerships, but they're still whirring through European boulevards and Chinese megacities with style and spark. So here's to the smart car, the tiny trailblazer that dared to shrink the ride but supercharge the idea. From urban alleyways to battery-powered highways, you proved that size ain't everything. And sometimes, less really is more. This is the Ragtime Reporter. Tap in the typewriter keys and tip-tapping through traffic jams of time. Signing off with a toot of the horn and a toast to the tiniest chariot with the biggest personality. Keep your wheels nimble, your parking tight, and your engines light. Smart lives on.